Hello, I'm Leonard Maltin, and we're here with Roger Corman discussing his multifaceted career. And the facet we're going to discuss right now is your launching the directing career of Ron Howard. When did you first meet him?
I first met Ron when he did a picture called Eat My Dust for us. He'd been the star of Happy Days, and I had a teenage comedy car crash picture I wanted to make, and he was the logical person to play the lead. I couldn't afford his salary, so I gave him a salary and a percentage of the profits on Eat My Dust. And it opened to really huge figures on a Friday night. And I called him mid-morning on Monday to say, Ron, we've got a giant winner here. You're going to really do well on your percentage. And he said, I've already checked. I know. I've been waiting for your call, and I assume you want to do a sequel. And I said, of course. And he said, wait right there. I'm coming in. So I waited. He came into the office, and he did all the talking. He said, I know it's customary when somebody stars in a hit picture to come back and get more money for the sequel. I will not ask for that. I'll come back and do the sequel for exactly the same money, and I'll do another job for nothing. And I said, what's that, Ron? And he said, I'll direct the picture. And I said, Ron, you always look like a director to me.
Really and truly, as simple as that.
That's exactly the way it went, and it went that fast. There were no hesitations on the part of either one of us.
All right, well, what was it about him that gave you that confidence in him?
First, he'd given us a big hit, and he could have said he wanted my job, and I would have probably said, Ron, you look like a producer to me. But also, I knew that he had studied it at the SE Film School, and I had done several short subjects, and he was an intelligent, very hard-working young man, and I felt all of those things together, it was worth the gamble.
And a gamble that paid off, didn't it?
Yes.
Was Grand Theft Auto as successful or more successful than Eat My Dust?
It was just about as successful as Eat My Dust, which is unusual because generally the sequel falls a little bit below the first, but both of these held to a very high level.
He also co-scripted the film, but not just with any other screenwriter. He did it with his father, Rance. Had you worked with Rance before?
I had worked with Rance as an actor, and our problem was that Ron was going to direct and play the lead. And he didn't want to be a Laurence Olivier directing and being the lead in every scene, so we had to come up with an idea for a script where he could be the legitimate lead but not be in that many scenes, so he could spend most of his time directing. And we threw out idea after idea until Ron and his father came up with the winner. As soon as they told it to me, I said, yes, we'll go with that. Ron is the poor boy in love with the daughter of the rich man who doesn't want Ron to marry his daughter. So he and the daughter steal the father's Rolls Royce and elope to Las Vegas. The father, enraged, chases them, and the state police and everybody gets into the chase. The beauty of the idea was we could shoot all of Ron's scenes in 1 or 2 days, because if you have this chase like this, Ron and the girl are in the front car and you can shoot all of their scenes in 1 day. Then he spent the rest of the picture shooting all the people who were chasing after him.
How many days was the shoot on a film like this?
That was a 15-day picture. At that time, 15 days was our standard schedule.
Now, did that include weekends? Did you work Saturdays, Sundays?
No, we didn't. We worked a normal 5-day week.
So it was 3 weeks, three weeks time from start to finish. Wow. Double wow on a film like this. How much of that would be devoted to just sheer action on a film of this sort?
We did something similar to Death Race 2000, in which Ron shot most of the work, but at the same time we had some of the action scenes shot by a second unit director, who's actually a friend of yours from NYU, Alan Arkish, made his debut as second unit director on Grand Theft Auto and then went on to direct several films for me.
The fact that Ron Howard was able to be promoted as the star obviously got people into the theater there, and he was a very hot commodity at that time, as he remains today behind the camera. All these years later, he decided to put you in front of the camera in Apollo 13, his latest movie. How did that feel?
It was very funny. I've been asked to play cameos. They don't think I have the ability and their right to do anything more than a cameo by a lot of directors who started with me. Francis Coppola was the first one who had me play a senator in Godfather Part 2. And I think it's sort of an affectionate gesture on their part, and maybe unconsciously it's their chance to tell me what to do.
Maybe not so unconsciously either. The roster of directors who got their start with you is pretty impressive. Do you ever shake your head in wonderment at this little graduate school that you spawned?
Partially in wonderment and partially in pride. I really take a great deal of pleasure in the success of our graduates, as we refer to them.
Well, it's interesting to see where Ron Howard got started, and it's interesting to see where he's gone, and that's what we can do right now with Grand Theft Auto.